For me, I would just say try and, if you're aspiring to do something specific in music, try and influence a piece of that into your day-to-day life. Just try and be thinking about your stuff all the time.
Hey everybody, welcome to Very Interesting People, a podcast where we sit down with talented independent creators to talk about their craft, share some stories, and inspire you to get out there and create something yourself. And with me today is the band 538th Street. How's it going, boys?
Hey.
It's going good.
It's going pretty good?
Yeah.
Nice. So let's go down the line and introduce everybody. We'll start with, I pointed this way, but we'll start with Sam.
Sweet.
I just introduced you. Oh, there you go.
I'm sad. I'm sad.
And what do you play in the band?
And I'm vocals.
Well, there you
Lead
go.
vocals, yeah.
I'm Jake, and I play guitar. No, I play.
Jake's like, I'm just waiting to figure out what instrument I play. Just gonna see what you say, and then just like.
All right. So that's Wasim.
Yeah, that's
The
it.
machine.
I play drums.
Nice.
Oh.
My name is Austin. I play the bass, and I do singing as well.
My name's Jake, and I play the guitar, and I do singing as well.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a lot of singing.
Oh.
You sing, Wasim?
No,
Seem sings, but
He
we
sings,
don't
we
give
just
him a
don't
mic.
give him a mic.
Yeah, we just keep the fader down.
who in the shower, you guys? Come on.
All right. So for those who aren't already familiar with you guys, tell us a little bit about the band. What do? You know, you play instruments, but
Yeah, we play those
you play them together, separate?
all together.
Oh, wow.
All
Yeah.
at the same time.
Mostly. Sometimes
We
we
take
couple-
turns.
we
Yeah.
take turns. Sometimes we just do like Yankee swap. We do Yankee swap. We just go around.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Swap
We
instruments.
swap instruments.
Yeah.
Like, I
Oh,
go on
you
the
mean a
drums
Chinese
and-
fire drill?
Trying
Holy shit.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're a hip hop band.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just play some like groovy kind of funk.
We really don't know
and
how to
jazz.
describe
Yeah,
it.
it's
now that I
pretty.
think about it.
It's pretty genreless, but it's we all kind of have a style that kind of brought us our sound.
Yeah, so how did you create that sound? Does everyone have different inspirations that they draw from and you guys just kind of blended them together? Or was it you came out thinking, we're going to be hip-hop and R&B with this vibe already at the gate?
It was pretty much like that. Like at the beginning, like I wrote a bunch of just guitar loops and stuff like that, and then Sam wrote vocals to all of them, and then came back and started putting together the band. Asked Austin if he wanted to, or actually I just put a post up,
Yeah.
and he was the only one who responded.
Luckily.
Only takes
Yeah.
one, baby.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Yeah.
exactly.
And so yeah, we
Yeah,
practiced.
we could have
it.
done way better. We just
Yeah.
settled.
Yeah.
No, it was perfect. And yeah, so me and Sam already kind of had a few songs, like maybe 6 or so songs, pretty ready on our ends, and then we just needed like a skilled bass player like this dude to just freaking come up with the bass lines. And then same with Wasim. We did have a different drummer for a little bit, and then Wasim came in August. And
Yeah,
that's
something
when
like
we
that.
just that's
Something
when,
like that.
that's
you
when the
know?
music really started to take shape, and
Yeah.
and after that, like we started like working on the songs together and changing up the arrangements and just like really making them all of our songs and just creating them.
Yeah. And you and Sam are brothers, Jake
Yeah.
and Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys always
Which is really
do
funny
music?
because I didn't know they were brothers
Yeah.
until like 3 or 4 weeks in. And I remember Austin went home one day and it was just the three of us and we were just talking about some stuff and they started arguing and bickering. And I was like, oh shit, like here we go. It's gonna be
We're
one of
gonna
those
get this
bands
up,
where everybody's just
Yeah.
fucking yelling at each other the whole time. And I was trying to like calm them down
Yeah.
a little bit and like be a peacemaker. until they told me they were brothers. I was like, oh fuck, okay, well this is normal. So just carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being brothers, did you guys play music together when you were kids, like all the way up until the band, or did you just kind of find out
We
you
were
were...
like, I had always played guitar.
I kind of fed off him.
For a long
It
time.
was a following relationship. He was going up, and I
But
was
not
following.
really. Sam was like, Sam just got into rapping in high school, and I like never took guitar serious until, like 2 years after high school, and then took the audio engineering course at the college where I met Austin, and that's when I started like producing beats and stuff like that, and then at the same time Sam was doing his own thing and started rapping out of nowhere, and I didn't believe him that he was a rapper.
Yeah.
And then like we got together in my
Have
own.
you seen his hair lately?
It was like hilarious. It was like out of nowhere, all of a sudden Sam's rapping.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And he was just so
That's
good.
pretty cool. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't know
was
that.
so
That's cool.
random. And then he was so good. We just started. We made like the first track we ever did, which was Proof of Life, and yeah. Then I finished my audio engineering program, and then went out into the States and traveled with the bandwagon for 4.5 months, and then at the latter end of the trip made all these beats on my iPhone, and then came home to Sam because Sam was just like going hard with his music at the time, and I was doing my thing, whatever, and then kind of had inspiration while I was out there. I was like, the idea came to me. I didn't really feel like being like, I don't know, I wanted to be in a band, I wanted to play live music, but I didn't know how to do it necessarily with my own stuff. And Sam also, you know, wanted to be part of something, or wanted to like have something to get him out there doing shows and doing more stuff. So yeah, we just friggin' got together and made a band.
Let it rip.
We were just a bunch of puzzle pieces. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Just needed to come together.
Nice.
Mm.
So we're actually shooting in the bandwagon today. Jake mentioned it. So, very nice. Got full video. Got the
Very
logo
nice.
up there.
She's a beauty.
Check them out on Instagram
Your
at...
stickers need
the
some work,
bandwagon?
though, Jake.
Yeah,
Oh
I know.
shit, they're kind of peeling a little
Coming
bit,
down.
A little
buddy.
droopy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so once you guys all got together, what was your writing process like? Is it just Sam that writes the vocals? Do you guys sometimes write lyrics for him? Does everyone write their own instrument tracks and stuff? or-
Everybody writes their own instrument.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it is. A lot of it started with guitar loops. Sometimes it's just been like, and sometimes the vocals have just been Sam, right? Like there's stuff that Sam's just written in the past, and then like a guitar loop that I'll have, Sam will be like, "Okay, that's dope. Let's put that together," and then we'll all just get together and go hard with it and make it into a song.
Yeah, so how does that work, Sam, with the... Because when you write raps, you have to write each line with this, like, syllables to make it flow properly. Do you just adapt that really easily to the loops of the guitar, or do you really have to, like, workshop it after you got the lyrics written out?
You know, it's really different depending on what song I'm writing. Because sometimes I'll write what is that structured song, like A, B, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll just write basically a poem. And then when I hear that certain song or that riff,
Yeah.
I feel like the certain line I had written in the past will just come to mind. And I'll be like, wow, that works really well here. And then we'll use that, and then we'll all come together and build off it.
It's like a real flow state.
Totally.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess
Totally.
that's kind of the nice thing about the genre of music that we're kind of gravitating towards is definitely, you know, hip hop with other influences.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
the bass structure is hip hop for sure.
Yeah.
Totally.
So it's that kind of repetitive hook is the music, right? And then Sam is kind of the feature, which is how I think of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess does that help your writing?
Yeah, no, totally.
Because then you're not worried about like a whole bunch of different sections and all that kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And then we've done a lot of things where, like, say someone will be playing something small, or I'll even have a verse in my head, one single verse. And we'll take the whole melody of that verse, or someone's bass line, or drum line, or guitar, and we'll
Yeah.
build the entire song from just that
Yeah.
5-second piece.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it
It's
builds
like
together.
like you said, it's really flow with the wind, or however you would say that.
Yeah.
Wind of songwriting.
Dude, I'm gonna hang that up in my bathroom.
Flow with the
Flow
wind.
With the wind. That's like one of those little living room signs that like moms put up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
live, laugh, love,
That's where I'll
flow
live.
with
That's where
the
I'll live.
wind.
That's
Yeah.
See you
Probably
guys.
saw that somewhere.
Like,
Like Home
um,
Depot or something.
It's like those socks that on the bottom they say like, if you can read this, bring me a glass of wine.
Yeah, it's like one of those. Yeah.
Those mom's
If you can
socks.
see this, I'm flowing with the wind.
Yeah.
So you guys have this chair's squeaking. So you guys have gotten pretty popular in the Kelowna music scene. That's
Have
where
we?
we're based out of.
I don't know.
I've seen like so I knew about the band since its inception at a like little bandwagon concert. And I was like,
That was our first show.
That was our
was
first
like,
show.
neat. Okay. And then I found out you guys were playing more shows, and I went out to they did a battle of the bands at a local pub and absolutely just killed it. Won the battle of the bands. And the turnout was really big, and then you guys did your own show again after that.
Yeah.
Because was winning was you get paid and you get another follow up show.
Yeah.
And so you guys have been pretty popular. You do pretty well on the streams and on the gram.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, like, do you guys feel that popularity, or are you still feeling like you have much more to grow and expand as
There's
a
a lot
as a
of
group?
growth
We're-
needed for sure.
Yeah.
We're just starting out, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in
But
its infancy still. I
At
feel
the same
like.
time, though, I think we do feel like the love. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I would say that
Yeah.
like we don't feel like the popularity is not the good word, but like we feel the
Well,
love.
we got the
Community.
troops. The
Yeah, like
troops
the
always
troops,
come
yeah,
out, and like we have. There's a lot. There's not a huge following, but there's a loyal
You got
Yeah.
groupies?
following, right?
We really do have like.
we got a couple. We
Mine
got
is
a
like
couple
yeah,
here
millions
and
of
there.
groupies, but there
Yeah.
are really like
They're all
there's a-
Sam's friends. They all love
Yeah.
just coming out and tearing it up.
Yeah.
There's
There's a good core.
There's a good group of people that just love
Yeah.
to support us all the time. So we definitely feel that, every show
Yeah.
for sure.
Are you guys
Mhm.
friends with a couple of other bands in town you work with a lot,
We're
or
working on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if we made
We're
many friends at
friends
the
with
Battle
Faded
of the Bands,
Sons.
but
Yeah.
Friends of Faded Sons, yeah.
Yeah.
Really awesome rock band.
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Kelowna,
Yeah.
BC,
Yeah.
We definitely want to make more connections with other bands, and I
We just
don't know,
haven't really done any like multiple
Yeah.
lineup shows. Like, I mean, we have one next Friday at the Rotary Arts Center, but
it's long gone? That
Yeah.
happened like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the times we have played with other bands, yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, yeah, because when I've seen you guys, especially at the Battle of the Bands, you were pretty chummy with everyone else. I mean, they were all really, respectful to winning.
is
I
that a
thought.
good thing, chummy?
Chummy, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah,
your
When I think of
buddies.
a chum, I
Chum
think of
bucket.
like some.
Chum.
You think of
dude
SpongeBob, don't you?
Yeah.
SpongeBob
Like
has many
Plankton.
forms, man.
Yeah.
I
He's a
think
sponge.
I
He's a
think
timeless
we've
character.
been working really hard as a group and
Yeah.
as a band in Kelowna, and we haven't necessarily been growing with the other bands in the music scene,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing. We've
But I
been
think
working for
everybody's
ourselves.
doing that.
I think everyone has
Everybody
that.
has
True.
their own little group of people, and it's like we definitely know each other. We're obviously not
That's for
hanging out
sure.
with each other because we don't like.
No crazy
we're-
house parties.
We're all
no.
no.
No. Album release.
We're
parties?
waiting for the first
We're
band
all-
to blow up, and then we'll go to his mansion.
Yeah.
Their mansion.
There you go.
Yeah.
You gotta go collab with Lil Windex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
man,
wishes.
I think
He
he's actually,
wishes.
A little
He's-
bleach.
Oh.
Sam's trying to look like him over here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
I'll
got
try
a
to
we
do
need
grill
to
that.
going,
get you
man.
some.
Yeah, get me some vipers, whatever
Viper,
those things
yeah.
are called, pit vipers.
There you go. Yeah. So, anyways, but, yeah, I don't know. I don't really remember what the question was, but
We're acquaintances with the other bands. I wouldn't necessarily
Yeah.
say we're good
Yeah.
friends, but we know them, they know us, and
but
that's
we want to do more shows
the
with
end
more
of it.
people for
It's a
sure.
nice community too. Like there's
Absolutely.
never any hostility between
Not at
people.
all.
I
No.
always think about like the bigger music scenes where bands will be like fighting with each other for shows.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's like here there's
Mhm.
enough, not a ton of space to grow, but there's enough space to grow comfortably with everyone.
It's usually here. It's
totally.
usually the bands at the sound techs.
Yeah.
They're usually
Yeah.
But
at each other's.
It's like yeah,
necks.
half the people I know are either like they're working in like audio, like doing concerts, and then it's just their coworkers start a band. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
For
Yeah.
sure. So
all right,
there's definitely a lot of sick bands in Kelowna. And
530, it's one of them.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
put
we'll
us
go
up
with
there.
that.
we'd like to think so.
I'd like to think we're okay.
Yeah.
So guys, what's on the horizon for 538th Street? What's next? Got some songs,
Guys,
got
it's
some
our
merch.
change. You got
Yeah,
it.
we're
They're tired.
dropping T-shirt backwards.
We're
I
gonna
got my.
T-shirt back.
Yeah, we're dropping T-shirt backwards in March, and that's gonna be big.
Yeah,
It's gonna be one to look out for.
We're excited
That's
for
for
that
sure.
one.
Yeah, March. hopefully we'll have another one as well. Try to do some consecutive releases.
You guys got a whole like set list of originals too, so you're
Yeah, we do have
piecemeal
quite a
in
few,
this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We
More
might
coming.
We might be dropping an EP before summer, and then kind of like do a tour off that EP. So we
Yeah.
definitely want to do a tour in the summer.
Where we want to tour to.
We would like to do an East Coast tour. We have some
Cool.
friends from a band called Roadwaves.
Yeah.
Shout out Roadwaves.
Shout out
They're
Roadwaves.
the dopest. Incredible
Those guys are great.
musicians. We played a show with them at Milk Crate a few months ago.
I heard is that the story of Milk Crate Records that you guys were talking about earlier?
Yeah,
or is-
That's the story. Yeah.
All right, we'll get into that after.
I don't know if we should.
We'll have a milk
It's
crate.
another.
Don't they?
We'll
they,
tell
they
ya.
don't exist anymore, so
Yeah,
you
that's-
guys got no one's gonna come
That's
after
one
you.
of the stories.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Um,
old news.
that's old news.
yeah.
That's all.
Vintage.
But they've done a tour for the past 3 consecutive years. I could be wrong. It might be 4, but
They
this,
tour hard.
Like
Yeah, they tour
nonstop
hard.
for 3 years, or
like
like
60,
No, just,
60
every-
plus
every
locations
summer.
on
Yeah.
a tour. Like
Yeah.
they are touring mad.
Out
Mad
of like
lad.
2.5 months or something like that, they
Yeah, they
they only had 7 days off.
they have like a little trailer.
Yeah, they
like
work
a
hard.
small trailer, and they just drive like cross Canada.
like a
It's
bandwagon
cross-Canada tour.
knockoff, or like
No,
a,
it's-
oh,
it's
okay.
one of the-
It's the exact same type of trailer. It's just
smaller.
micro. They tow it behind a minivan, and
Oh,
then
Yeah.
nice.
but they're super sick, and they obviously have some good connections. So we're hoping that they can help us.
No, it needs
How would you theoretically get out to the East Coast? Would you take,
We would drive
right.
with this bandwagon.
Oh,
We would drive the whole way.
In theory.
in theory,
in theory.
It's happening.
no first class travel? Check the.
We'll see if
Oh.
T-shirt backwards
I don't know
blows up
what-
first.
Yeah.
See 'em
That's-
go.
that's gonna be the
we're,
state
we're
of our
staying
travels.
up though in like 5-star tents, man.
Five-star
tents.
Yeah.
Like
getting-
4 or 5 man tent probably.
We're getting that
Yeah.
that gourmet ramen.
Who's the fifth
noodle.
man?
Hmm?
Who's the fifth man in that 5-man tent gonna be?
No,
You
no,
know, see?
5-star tents.
Whoever's coming back.
You
from-
just said 4 or 5-man tent.
Bring
Well, I
one
mean,
lady
like-
back for all
yeah,
of us.
the one groupie. Yeah.
One group.
Well, I mean, I say 4 or 5 because like
That'll
if
be
it's
our-
4, that's gonna be
It'll
tight.
be our merch
We're gonna
lady
be
guy.
like literally
Yeah,
shoulder to
exactly.
Our
shoulder.
merch them.
We'll have a them pretty soon here, and then
Yeah.
we'll be dealing with all our loose ends.
Yeah, we're
That'll
gonna
be our
need a
fifth
merch
member.
them.
The little merch slave.
Mm-hmm.
Force
Yeah.
him out. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh no, our
won't
manager.
call him a
That's
slave.
who.
that's
Right,
we'll
we
call
forgot
him the
about that.
manager.
Who also
Yeah.
does the merch.
Yeah.
Yeah, manager.
Our
Our merch
Merchager.
manager.
Yeah.
Mercher. All right.
We're just
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
So
So yeah, go back. I heard there was a good story to be had.
No, there was no story.
No, there's no
No.
story.
No, we played.
Well,
we
what
played
was the
Milk
story?
Crate. We played actually because they closed down sadly.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
We
It
played-
was a good venue, and they did so many shows there. We actually played their closing night. We got a hold of somebody,
Oh,
and
really?
there was a big jam night, and like, I've never seen this place so packed. I mean, it was like shoulder to shoulder, like the whole place. So
It was steamy.
It was steamy. It was pretty
The
cool.
glass
Were they
was
pretty
fogging
much
up.
empty?
It really
Because they
was.
did a blowout sale. It was like
Yeah,
They
no,
weren't
there was
fully-
still records in there.
But they did pull like
pulled them back.
they
Oh,
got a lot
okay,
of people in and just kind of renovated the space temporarily
Made it a
to
big dance
to
floor.
have a lot of people in there, and then
And they had
there
a
was-
couple bands.
yeah 3 house bands, and then
3 house bands.
and then we were like contacting a week before trying to get on the open mic list,
Yeah.
and we were the only people that were trying to do that because
But we didn't
turned
know
out
that.
yeah we
Yeah.
didn't know that. We
So,
were
yeah,
like,
it was-
hey,
it was
We
pretty
were
frantic.
trying hard to
Yeah.
get on
Yeah.
the stage.
As soon as the last band was done, we were like,
yeah, we
grabbed
brought
our
all our
stuff,
gear,
like hopped up,
Yeah.
and
but turned out
basically just
nobody
started playing.
else. Yeah, nobody else was going.
And
for
people
it.
loved it.
Yeah,
They loved
Nice.
it.
it was kind of
a
like
good
it was 4
little
bands.
like pop up show or whatever, right? We played like 3 or 4 songs, and
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
think people asked us to play a couple more. We played, whatever, 5 or 6 maybe. I don't
We
know.
almost stole the night.
Yeah,
Almost.
almost.
No,
Anyways,
that other group was really good.
they
though.
were good. Yeah.
That's why the almost was in there.
yeah.
There was a couple
What were they
couple
called?
really
Yeah,
good
shout out
groups there.
Speakeasy.
Speakeasy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
Shout
good.
out Elk the Moose.
Elk the Moose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out. That was it.
That was it.
Speakeasy Elk the
Shout out
Moose.
538th Street.
Shout
Shut up 538th Street.
Yeah.
Stream Ice Cold Christmas. It's like February, but it doesn't matter.
Hey, it's Christmas
still
any
good.
time of year when you listen to that song, man.
Yeah.
That song's bigger than Christmas. That's
Yeah.
why.
That's a bold statement.
Bold statement.
That's a bold
That's a
statement.
controversial statement here.
Yeah.
Get some heat, you know.
It's like saying Christmas is bigger than Hanukkah, you know?
Ooh.
Yeah. Now
I
we're
hate it
now-
totally
now
is.
we're
Or-
we're saying a lot of things.
They're nice right now. All right.
They're gonna come burn down our trees with their candles.
All right, so we like
What does that even mean?
Because they got like 10 candles they light every day.
it's
Oh,
Burn
the
the Christmas trees
I
down.
don't even know
Oh,
what they're
okay,
called.
yeah,
I had a
so-
Jewish roommate. I still don't know anything about Judaism other than like
Oh,
Israel.
Oh, that's,
The
oh,
jokes.
that's not
The jokes. So to wrap up the show, we like to have a little advice column with our guests here. So to any aspiring bands, musicians, rappers, instrumentalists, what is your advice on getting in and making your own music, doing your own thing, getting out there, expressing yourself?
You start.
Practice, practice, practice.
How do you practice?
And watch lots of YouTube videos. And stay indoors. And don't see the light of day ever.
Well, all right.
depending on what you do.
No, I
though.
think I think practice is a huge thing, probably the biggest thing, and just trying to get just play shows. But I think also on the networking side of things and making friends, Austin's pretty good at that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna go. Oh, sorry, go
I
ahead.
don't think we as a band have done enough of that. But may I go ahead?
My advice was kind of the opposite. It was actually gonna be to like.
Don't
if-
learn how to play music. Just
No,
pretend
well,
like you
yeah,
can.
obviously practice like is important, but like I think you really got to go out to like jam nights and like there's not a lot of them, but there's a lot of or sometimes at least like there's like music community nights where they rent like a hall and a bunch of people get together and you just like talk with people and network with people, and like it's so important to do that stuff. Like you just meet so many cool people, you know what I mean? But you won't meet them if you don't go. So when you go out and jam, like I don't know, I've been like O'Flanagan's jams, and like it always ends up being a good night, and you always get something out of it. So go do it.
Yeah.
Don't sit at home, because life.
Do
is
see the
ticking.
light of day.
Do see the light of day. Go
Yeah,
seize the
chase
day,
it.
man.
It was
Yeah,
kind of a joke.
Yeah.
seize
All
the day.
right.
Man, okay, so my advice is definitely going to be adding on to yours, Austin. And with that regard of going out and like meeting new people and connecting and whatever, I'd say my biggest piece of advice would be to surround yourself with good people, like-minded people
Yeah.
who you can get along with, especially if you're going into something that's like a band situation,
Yeah.
because it's your business and
That's
you want to
538.
get along
That's
with the people
538.
that you're
Yeah.
that you're doing business with, right?
Yeah,
And that's
totally.
actually something huge about this band is like, I feel like there's definitely a lot of bands that do get together well, but like our band is we're all like very similar age,
Yeah.
and we're all kind of in the same exact place in our lives,
How old are we? I just want to throw
7.
that out there, just because, like, I don't think people know. Like, I didn't even know.
Austin
Yeah.
doesn't
Austin
know
is
how old he is.
mid-40s.
No, not the band. I mean, individually. Individually,
Yeah.
how old are we?
Well, you're 24.
I am 24.
I'm 24.
Jake's 24.
I'm 21.
Same.
I'm 19.
19.
You guys are
That's
old.
it. And we all
Yeah,
have
they are.
Jake, hey, you know
All right,
what, man?
boomer.
yeah, we all just have day jobs and then do music as a
Night job.
extreme passion,
Music is
night
a-
job, and
Night job.
hope
Music is a full-time job,
hope
man.
that it
is
will
at
take
this
over
point.
for sure.
But that's the
full-time
thing too,
job.
though. It's like if you all get along, then the creative process kind of gets a little more streamlined.
The
Easier.
juices just start
Easier.
spurting out.
And just
Oh,
better.
absolutely.
So many juices.
The way we work off each other, I think, has been growing more and more every time we play. Like it just gets
It's getting
easier and
juicy,
easier.
dude.
Stop.
Getting juicy.
Like sunripe juicy.
Oh,
Ocean spray.
yeah. What's your advice, Sam? Sorry, we kind of like.
No,
So
I,
like
wasn't,
the-
I was enjoying the
You
conversation.
enjoying the juice? Yeah.
For me, I would just say try and if you're aspiring to do something specific in music, try and influence a piece of that into your day-to-day life. Just whether it's writing music or thinking of a riff or something, just try and be thinking about your stuff all the time. I don't know. For me, that was just one thing. It's just
Yeah, like turn the radio off and hum to yourself or
Yeah.
something.
exactly.
That's true, I don't do that enough.
Don't lose your focus,
Nice.
especially if you have a task at hand.
Yeah.
And one question I had, since we interviewed Faded Sons before, but they all knew each other from a band group or music school, with you guys, since you're brothers, but how would you suggest someone find a band if they don't have any friends that play music? What do you do? Do you find them at jam nights? Do you go on Craigslist and post
It's just,
looking
it
for a
can happen.
band?
Dude,
That's how we got together, but
Yeah.
I could have asked him straight up but
Yeah.
I figured he was busy.
How'd
and
you
I
find
didn't-
Wasim?
I was busy, man,
And
but I
we-
was like, sure, like I'll tack another one, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then it just got
It was
sweet.
just number one.
And now
Yeah.
it's very busy. So
Story of Wasim is
Wasim was pretty crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
it was,
On the street
just-
begging for money.
Oh,
Threw him a nickel and he followed you home.
Yeah.
Pretty
tell
much.
Oh, a nickel.
Yeah.
Tell the story. It's
We-
actually a good story.
We just
I was
parted
working
ways
at-
with our drummer,
And their old
Yeah.
drummer.
our old drummer.
Yeah.
And then we had an interim drummer that was going to be playing a gig, but he couldn't make it or something. And then Austin ended up filling in at the gig.
Yeah, I
He
played
plays
drums.
drums.
I played
Yeah.
drums for a show.
And then we
yeah.
got our buddy Peter to play the bass.
Yeah.
So we made it through that gig. And then, we were ready to get this other guy in. Shout out Jordan Strauss, hella good comedian. But, he was pretty busy, but we were still going to make it happen. And then one day I was at Wentworth.
That's where I was
And
working
was
at the time.
Wentworth is
Also-
like Guitar Center, but actually nice inside.
Yeah.
Just as a preface for anyone who doesn't
Yeah.
know what Wentworth is.
Kelowna's guitar shop,
Yeah.
music shop.
Kelowna's only guitar shop, really.
And
I was teaching drum lessons there and not really loving it too much. And then I was buying a guitar that day. 'Cause
Yeah, he
I was
was-
trying to take advantage of my employee discount.
Yeah.
There
He
you
was
go, right?
sitting in the little ISO booth playing some like A minor guitar thing, and then I was outside of the ISO booth, soloing to whatever he was playing. And
Yeah,
then
you came, knocked on the
no,
window.
you
and
just
asked for a
opened the
patch.
door.
I was sitting inside.
Oh really?
Yeah, and you knocked on the door, and you're like, "Hey, can I use that?"
Oh, but that was before.
That was your little patch, and so
Yeah.
okay, I gave it to you, closed the door, and you went down and
Started playing.
started playing.
Yeah.
That's so
and then-
sick.
and
And
then
then
you
we were
opened
playing in the
that.
same
Yeah.
key.
And then you open the door and you're like, hey, how long you been playing guitar?
Hey, how you doing? How you long you been playing for, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, and then I was like, quite a while, whatever, and then he's like, so, like, can you tell me about some guitars? Like, I'm really interested in buying one. I love the one that I've got, which was, like, the sickest Godin ever.
Yeah, I
and I
brought
was
it
like,
tonight.
dude.
Did you?
Yeah, I got it here
Oh, nice.
for you to
Oh,
play.
you brought it tonight?
Yeah, for
Sick.
you to play.
Yeah, so I was like, dude, that guitar you're holding that is the one.
So I bought
And
it.
So
So I bought it.
So we bought it, and then he came over, started talking, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I actually am a drummer. I'm teaching here at Wentworth." And I was like, "Okay, keep talking."
Mhm.
And then he's like, I asked him, or he just said he just went to school, or just finished school for music or whatever.
Selkirk College.
Yeah. And then I asked him like what his main like genre I guess is, or what he went to school for, and he said jazz was his like main background, I guess.
That's what we studied.
Which is what
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
it was
what
funny
we
because I
studied in
told
school.
Jake, I
We were
said,
looking
Jake,
for-
we're looking for a jazz drummer.
yeah.
And
it
I
was
actually,
like-
to be fully honest, I said, we're looking for a jazz drummer that's not white.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
We need to get your racial profile expanded a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just everything, and then I was like,
add a
so.
little spice to the band.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, so you must be pretty sick, eh? And he's like, yeah, I'm all right. In that moment, I was like, he's the
You know he's
fucking
sick.
one.
You know he's sick if he
Yeah.
doesn't say he's sick.
So I gave him my business card, and
Came over the next day and jammed.
yeah, he came over that following day, and then I sent some clips of us.
I called
jamming.
you after I was done
Yeah,
doing
call me.
concrete.
Called me that day, and we got together that freaking day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
I
was
was-
sending videos to
yeah,
Austin,
man.
and like,
I was
get your ass over
I was somewhere
here.
else, and I was like on my way, and Jake called me. He's like, "Dude, you got to get here right now." I was like,
Dude, I was
I was
super
like, "All right, I'm
nervous,
coming in."
dude.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I came in, and I heard this guy for like 20
A
seconds.
bunch of
I
guys
was
just
like,
all
yeah.
looking over at you like,
That's the thing, bro. He wasn't just jamming,
Because
like-
Jake told me it was an audition, right? So I was like, oh
which
shit.
is
Yeah,
what
but
it
it was,
was.
we
I
were,
gotta be
it
on
was
my,
just so
like-
chill.
Yeah.
It ended up being really
Yeah.
chill, but
Oh,
when I
it was-
first got it, I wasn't sure what to expect.
Yeah.
Bro, it was not just a jam. Like, this kid, like, came in and blew our minds.
Yeah,
Like,
it
the
was
second
pretty
he picked up
crazy.
the sticks, we were like,
Wow.
that's the
Yeah,
one.
I was,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
taking videos and stuff. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
it was
sick.
crazy.
And
I was
instant,
just
like,
hoping you
friends,
guys
too.
were gonna let me in.
Yeah.
It was like, oh please, come on,
Yeah.
please
It
let
was
me in.
hilarious, yeah, because you were like, okay, can I be part of this? And we're like, dude, like.
Yeah, I remember that
10
moment
years
you were
ago,
kind of like, yeah.
We're like, no, you are a part of this.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
said, can we be a part of this? Like,
Yeah.
Exactly. It was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that.
Best friends ever since.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and,
You got friendship bracelets?
Yeah, we're working on it.
Well, that's the
That's
tattoos.
That's the
tattoos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gotta get the 538
Working
tattoos.
on everybody getting
It's a
on it.
staple.
And
You can get
immediate-
yours next. Trust
Oh
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right after big breakup, everyone's got the tattoos.
Yeah. We pay the bills separate, but we're all together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
How
Well,
we
you
good
guys.
how are we good for time?
Oh,
Or
we're wrapping up. You got any closing statements? Any words of wisdom?
Shred the gnar, dude.
Yeah.
Check out T-shirt backwards when it drops and
Yeah.
all songs following.
Hop on
Yeah.
the bandwagon. Shout out Buzz Trust. Shout out Poor Man's Blogger. I'm sorry you got your laptop and camera stolen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, one last thing before we go. Jake got his laptop yoinked, and then we found it just yesterday.
But
when
not
we were-
for the first time.
Not for the first
third
time.
Third time
Third time.
in the consecutive year. Every
2017.
yeah, every
18,
year
19
for the past 2
No,
years.
18,
Yeah.
19, 20.
18, 19, 20. But I
So-
got it back.
Yeah, we got it back just in time for the sesh, and yeah,
Here we are.
here we are.
The
That's
guy
what
tried to
happens.
sell it back to us.
Stole it and tried to sell it back.
Yeah, it's a good business model, you know.
Really smart.
All right. Well,
Alright.
thanks everyone for listening. Go check out 538th Street at 538th Street on Instagram, on Facebook, on
Same.
anything else.
YouTube.
YouTube. Check out the Bandwagon Studio on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook as well. You can check out the podcast. We're TheVIPcast. I'm sure you can spell that on everything. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, some of those other ones that people don't use, and Patreon.
Good stuff.
So go check it out. Links in the description. If this is a video you're watching, or if you're listening on iTunes, go watch it on YouTube. It's better. And also links on our podcast page. You can find it. You'll figure it out. All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for coming
Yeah,
on, boys.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Have a good one. Oh,
Peace.
yeah, don't clip the microphone.
Don't clip the mic.
Slow clap.
I was about to rock.
There we go.
Nice.